I really wanted to come on today to share something that happened to me, and it's really stuck with me this week. I took a young dog to a parking lot at a store for the first time. New environment, lots going on, cars, people, movement. She was unsure at first, and then she was just standing there watching cars coming, people coming out of the cars, and lots of movement going on and taking it all in. And then, all very slowly, it didn't take long before curiosity arrived and she wanted to engage in the environment and she wanted to start following. And that's learning. That is totally learning for that dog when she wanted to interact with the environment and she was curious about it. And then she even greeted a man who came out of the store without jumping, which honestly was a really big win for this dog. And then the comments came, advice, opinions, quick fixes. And for a moment, it made me second guess myself, not because I didn't know what I was doing, but because that kind of pressure is real. And it got me thinking about, if it can make me pause, what is that doing to everyone else? Because this isn't just one moment. And I see this happen all the time. People are trying to do the right thing for their dog. But they're getting information from everywhere, social media, TV, even professionals. And some of that advice isn't necessarily wrong, but it's incomplete. It doesn't take into account the dog that's in front of you, what they're telling you, what they're feeling in that moment and in that environment. And this is where I think we need to start talking more. And I think I need to start talking more about trauma, because trauma is not just seen in extreme cases. We also see it as things like from a lack of early exposure or being overwhelmed too quickly, genetics that make them more sensitive, and repeated stressful experiences. Dogs aren't being difficult, they're trying to cope. They're trying to understand a world that feels overwhelming. And that's something that I see all the time that becomes trigger stacking. We take a dog into a new environment, and then it's one thing after another. A car drives by, a person walks by, a door opens, there's another noise over there, and then a dog goes by. And before that dog has had any time to recover, we're asking them to process the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. There's no space to settle. There's no space to understand. There's no space to feel safe. And what happens? What do we end up seeing in these dogs? They will stop taking food, especially in those moments. They'll seem very distracted or like they're not listening, but they're not ignoring us. They're just overwhelmed. It's not disobedience. It's a nervous system. It's the dog's nervous system doing its best it can to keep up with all these things that we're putting in front of them and expecting them to just ignore and not pay attention to. And learning doesn't happen in that overwhelm. When they're all overwhelmed and it's so much going on, they can't learn. It happens when a dog feels safe enough to process what's in front of them. Sometimes what that means and what that looks like is exactly what this dog was doing, what I was giving her the opportunity to do. Stop, just stop and watch. She was watching things going on. I made sure loose leash, just letting her think about it and self regulate and look at everything and digest it all, not rushing her, not expecting her to be perfect and not expecting her to have perfect manners. She hasn't had this experience and this exposure. And this is the best way for her to learn, because behavior is information. So that shows how much she needs help with that right now. And I have a feeling from the little bit I saw, it won't take much. If I give her some more opportunities like this, it will really help her. If she gets some really good positive experiences, more of them, that she'll be able to digest into self-regulate and be okay with in the world. But she needs help with that. We all need help with that when we're young. We don't learn how to just go into a store. And if a dog can't take food, that tells us something. If they're scanning the environment, it tells us something. It's communication. It's not failure. And the human side of this, that the human part really matters to me because I see what it does to people. I see people, I have clients, I hear it and understand personally how this feels to feel judged, to feel embarrassed, to feel like they're doing it wrong. I feel like you're doing it wrong. And what happens the next time? They won't go. They won't take the dog. The dog doesn't get to go anymore. They go avoid the store. They avoid going for walks. They stop letting their dog, taking their dog into those situations, not because they don't care, but they stop putting their dogs in those situations because it feels too uncomfortable. And that makes less exposure, less learning. It's just a downhill from there, less opportunity to build that confidence muscle and confidence in the world. But those real life experiences, those moments out in the world, that's exactly where the learning happens. So when we lose that, we don't we don't just lose progress, we limit what the dog's life could have been. So if your dog is struggling in the world and if they can't focus and they seem overwhelmed, they won't take food in those moments, that doesn't mean you're failing. It's communication. Might mean that your dog needs more time, more support, more space, and the chance to experience the world in a way that they can actually process successfully. Because when we slow down and support them properly, we don't just change their behavior, we expand their world. We give them more opportunities and more confidence and a fuller long life alongside us. And that matters because at the end of the day, welfare before expectations, always. Thank you for watching, jumping on this episode of A Dog's View. Please subscribe to my channel, check out fitsyourdog.ca, and don't hesitate to connect with me or put any questions, comments. If this helped you, I hope this increases your curiosity to learn what your dog really needs instead of listening to so much noise and people's influence. If your dog, somebody's giving you a hard time because your dog jumps, well, let's work on that. There's ways to help with that. If your dog is, you can't take your dog into stores and everything, we can hopefully help with that. Some dogs don't really want to go into a big, busy store, but many dogs will if they learn how to understand it and to process it safely. And that's why I love taking a look at the world through a dog's view. Thanks for watching and have a great day.